So I'm gonna try. Okay, so my thumbnail is up. I'm gonna go live. The music could play out. The music.
The views expressed on this program are not those of IntellectualRadio.com, its subsidiaries, or sponsors. Encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
To Warriors Talk, where we are moving away from awareness towards taking action. I am your host, Lady ReShell, and tonight is Relationship Monday, and we're asking a question that has probably hit your phone before: spin the block or stand on business. So they have texted you, they said that they have changed and they want another chance. So what now? Do you go back or do you protect your peace? Go ahead, grab your coffee, your tea, and your journals, and we are going to talk about it. Our topic is spin the block or stand on business. Should you go back to your ex? We are glad that you joined us today. On the last episode of Warriors Talk, I discussed cancer, the gift that keeps on giving. You can head over to YouTube and you can type in Intellectual Radio and stay connected for any episodes you may have missed. If you are joining us on any form of social media, Facebook, YouTube, or intellectualradio.com, just drop where you're watching us from. We would love to hear from you. And we are so grateful for our sponsor on today. We have Pastor Michael Richardson with the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ, and they have a special message for us.
Greetings, I am Pastor Michael Richardson.
And I am First Lady Anastasia Richardson from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We're located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago, Illinois. We are building upon a solid foundation.
And we're inviting you to join us every Sunday morning on Facebook Live at Emmanuel Kojic at 10:15 Central Standard Time. And you can also view our videos on our YouTube channel at Emmanuel Kojic-MR. Once again, this is Pastor Michael Richardson
and First Lady Anastasia Richardson, and we're from the Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We are building upon a solid foundation.
Co-hosting with me today is none other than the cancer activist, motivational speaker, and the founder of the Gow Foundation, ReShell Gilmore, aka The Biz. What's up, ReShell?
What's going on, Lady ReShell?
Excited
Here
about
we
today,
are.
Relationship Monday.
Always, I love Relationship Monday. I love how we debate. I love the sarcasm. I love the funniness. I just love Relationship Monday when we discuss it.
Yes, and I just got a feeling that this conversation is going to get juicy. Spin the block or stand on business. Should you go back to your ex? So I want to first go ahead. I just want to give a definition of what spin the block is, just in case you don't know what it is. It most commonly means to return to a formal romantic partner, rekindling a past relationship. It also implies going back to the familiar, a person or situation. So you would know if you have spent the block. Or you could choose to stand on business, which is a popular slang term meaning to take full responsibility, to follow through on commitment, and to hold your ground in any situation. It signifies being reliable. All right. So now that we got the definitions out of the way, let's just jump into this conversation. Why do we even consider going back? Why are we considering spinning the block?
That is the question of the evening right there. Why do we even consider? So I do believe in giving people second chances, but I also believe everybody don't deserve one. So for whatever reason it is that you and that person didn't work out, you need to go back in your mental notes and flip it back and really think about the process and things that happen. Why would you want to go back that you were trying to get away from? So, and now you're free and you want to go back to that? That's like breaking out of jail and want to go back and clock in. No, why? You want to do that? Mm-mm.
Wow. So let's just be honest. Sometimes we miss that person. We miss the familiarity of being in that relationship with that person, the routine of it all, or just having access to a person. And most people, we don't want to start over. We don't. Like starting over is like, oh my God, I gotta get to know this person, their bad habits. You already familiar with the person that you with. You know what to expect. So sometimes you're just comfortable.
I get it. But at the same time, you could be blocking what's really out there for you. You could be missing out on your blessings. In my player days, I used to tell women, don't let your boyfriend stop you from your husband.
In your player
That would
days.
get them every time, too. That
Wow.
really sat and made them think, like, you know what? He could be right. You wasted all these years, and boom, now I'm here, and you wasting time with him. So, yeah, why go back? Just because you're not familiar with me yet.
Well, think about when you think about the familiarity of a person, like even getting to know that person, their ins, their outs, if they have anger issues, just even how they communicate, how you communicate with them. Like that's a lot to process to try to get to know or even get to that point with a new person.
For sure, it don't matter. You got people that's been together 20 years and still don't know each other. They still trying to figure things out. So whether you're doing it with an old person or you're going to do it with a new person, the point is you are always going to be trying to figure that person out.
It could be painful though. It could be painful trying to start over. Just some people may have the fear of starting over and maybe just wanting to be safer in the relationship they're already in. They already know that fear of the unknown starting with somebody new. Like I could just deal with this person I already know. I already know that they're gonna come up missing for 3 days and then lie about it, and I forgive them, and like I'm already used to that. So why set myself up to try to learn somebody new?
Well, you have to understand, in order for something to begin, something has to end.
Does it though?
Well, hey, date them both at the same time, too. What I say? Date them all. Haven't we said that before? Date
If
them all.
Well, if you're dating, you should be able to date more than one person. If you're in a relationship, I would say no. But if you're dating and you're collecting data, you should be able to date more than one person.
Well, because you do have some women and maybe some men who are dating with a purpose. So maybe they are just dating the one person.
That
But
would be courting.
hey, I say, look, keep your options open and keep looking until you find what pleases you.
What about
Mhm.
yeah? What about the fear of being alone? People don't want to be alone. They don't want to be by themselves. They don't even want to be by themselves with themselves, left in their own thoughts.
Well, they by themselves already left with their thoughts. So they already by themselves. Obviously, they've been getting used to it until somebody come along. So you just gotta wait, be patient until that time come.
But if you're constantly spinning the block, then you really don't have time to sit in your own thoughts.
But if you constantly spinning the block, you still don't have a chance to see what else is out there. Yeah, that person may keep you company for the moment, but then when you meet that other person, now you got to spend time with that other person. So what are you going to talk to the person you was spinning the block with? Because now you pulling yourself in two different directions and you can't be backwards and forward at the same time.
It's a lot of anxiety trying to start over.
That's why you gotta take it one day at a time and choose wisely, grasshopper.
Some people just hope for change. They hope that maybe this person will change. Maybe if I just stick around or revisit it, that this person has changed or they're going to change, and maybe I just need to put in a little bit more time to allow them to change instead of just giving up on the relationship altogether.
Rochelle, what is Rizzy's rule number three? What is Rizzy's rule number three? If I have to change you, then you were not for me.
Wow. A little change is good, depending on what that change is, though.
Right. And a man or woman is only going to change for the right person if it is needed. But if I have to do things because you're asking me and I can't be who I am and be myself, I'm in the wrong relationship.
I think sometimes people give themselves this false hope that the ex has changed or will change if they do something different, or if they're getting together at a different time. Maybe, maybe this is a different person. Maybe
Oh
that.
no, that would be them. That'd be the girlfriends hyping up. Like, girl, you should go ahead and give him another chance. You know he used to do X, Y, and Z, and then you sitting there thinking like, damn, yeah, he was good to me, blah blah blah, and that's how you end up back. Then you got the other ones like, girl, you need to leave him. No, they end up spinning the block because somebody whispered in their ear that they need to go back to where they was.
Sometimes you see and you watch people on social media, and people can make themselves seem like they leveled up, they're doing so well, and you're like, man, they wasn't doing those things when we were together. Like, I want that version of that person. And so you like, if I go back and I spin the block, I'll get that person that they're advertising.
Not at all, because you were part of that process to that person to where they are now. Every relationship is a learning process. And in order for me to get to where I needed to be, I had to go through dealing with you and everything because you made me much stronger. You made me level up. You made me do these things.
Well, Serena said when you invest a lot of time in a person, you just don't want to start over or be alone. And people don't. I mean, you put a lot into a person, mentally, physically. You're mending worlds together, especially if you have kids, they have kids. Like, it's a lot. And it's like, why use that energy starting over when I could just deal with what I'm dealing with and try to make it better?
Well, Serena, everybody is not supposed to go through life with you. There are some people who are there for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. You just have to figure out which one is which. Everybody is not meant to go with you.
Wow. So you have to be able, she said exactly. You have to be able to determine what category people fall in. And sometimes we be afraid to let them go, even though their season is up. We still trying to hold on to them.
What did they say? Like if you let something go and it come back to you, it was meant to be. Because I've had uh, women who I used to talk to, and the relationship didn't work out. But for some reason over the years, we actually stayed in contact and we were better off friends. So it was like maybe we weren't meant to be in a relationship and God tore that apart. But at the same time, we still were meant to be in each other's lives for whatever reason, because I was still there to help you, or you're still there to help me.
Do you feel like sometimes we don't even give that part of the relationship a chance to like grow or mature because we introduce like the physical so early that a lot of times when people do break up, they don't remain friends?
I think that's the younger cats that's doing that with the physical so early. I think, when you start to become older and you're aging like fine wine, you kind of you're kind of gradually sliding into it. And the minute you see something like, nah, that ain't where I want to be because I want to keep my peace. So you're gonna snap out of it and keep going. And wherever the relationship or friendship or whatever, wherever it lands is where it lands.
So you feel like the older you get, the more that you're concentrating on something peaceful versus something being chaotic, toxic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have less years in front of us at this point now, at our age. So why am I going to be stressed and be in chaos from this point on? No, I want to live peacefully and just enjoy life.
So what about those
Mm.
people that have an unhealthy emotional attachment to this person? Like, you know that it's unhealthy. First of all, this person they could be abusive, verbally, mentally. There's something that's unhealthy about it, and it's causing your life to be unhealthy, and everybody around you know it, they see it, but you just constantly attach yourself to this person. I would say the trauma of it could be trauma bonding.
This old saying that says you attract who you are. So if you ever notice how people end up with the same type of person, that's the time to reflect on about, okay, if this person is chaos, maybe I'm being or living chaotic. Why do I like that? Who likes chaos? There are some people who love it. There really are some people out there who love it. They love being in the spotlight and the gossip and they love the drama,
True.
and that's good for them, to each his own. But who would want that? At some point in time, that right there would be a change from the drama to wanting peace. Now I can see that change happening.
Yes. Serena says, I have to say that my ex and I have a better relationship now than when they were together.
See.
Wow. It be like that sometime, which is crazy. It's like, why can't we operate like this when people together? Yes, Wanda said because we worked on ourselves and then you come back as different people. And sometimes it takes
and
that.
uh, and then too, I think with that person, you're
Oh,
really
that's a good one.
trying not to make any mistakes. So then boom, you're not presenting still the real you because you're trying too hard to be this person's everything, and it's not working out for y'all.
I agree with Serena. Soul ties is something else. Oh my goodness. I know sometimes people don't believe in soul ties. I mm, it's a thing. Mm, I feel like they can be. I think anybody can be. It could be. It don't necessarily have to be a romantic relationship for it to be a soul tie. Yeah, definitely. Wanda was asking, are children soul ties? Can it be a soul tie between you and a child? And I would say yes. It doesn't have to be romantic. What do you mean? Oh yeah, definitely. It's not healthy, but you can. Right? No, the child makes it a soul tie. Hmm.
Is a soul tie or a bond? Because
Uh, yeah,
you're kind of
I
stuck
wouldn't
with
say
that
soul tie.
person
Right,
that you had the child with.
right, yeah. Mm. Say it again. She said resolve.
I said, is it a soul tie or is it a bond? Because you're kind of stuck with that person who you had the child with.
I would say bond. Yeah, even if it's like it might not be a trauma bond, but it's yeah. Serena says she don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah,
Hmm.
no, that's a good question though. No. But soul ties are something else. I think people underestimate a soul tie to somebody, and I think that's why a lot of people do spin the block is because their soul is tied to that person, and people will pull on your soul to make you feel guilty to try to go back to them. Remember, we got history, we did this, and you start thinking like, oh yeah, we did, like, oh, you feel like, oh, I have to go back to this person, like we belong together.
No, because as you become older, people, as we say, people change, body change, physical, emotional, spirit, it all changes. So you're not the same person that you were to that person years ago when they felt as though that they are now tied to you. Spend some time with that person and see what changes has occurred in their life.
Wow. Serena says that would be a bond. Yeah, I totally agree. What about people who are too stubborn to let go? Like this
That's on
relationship,
them.
this relationship is showing you all the signs that you should. Everybody can see it, but except for you.
If they can't realize that they need to get out, then maybe they just need to stay.
What about people that use they use their ex as a backup person? Nothing else has worked. No other relationship has worked in your life, and you just know that it's this one person that you can always go back to and spin the block. They always leave the door open for you,
But
and
why go back? Just stay. If you keep going back to the person, then obviously there must be some type of bond that just will not let you leave, whether it's soul tie, bond, whatever is holding you captive with this person. You just need to be with that person.
it could be the sex was really good. That could be the
That
only
ain't
thing.
enough.
That could be to you could just be going back for the sex and not if you're in and out of this person's life constantly, then there's something missing with that person. It's something that's not fulfilling with that person. So you keep going out to search for other people to try to feel it. And Serena said, why? I don't know why people do that. Just it's a traumatic it's like you traumatizing me all over again. Now you leaving and then you coming back and now okay, we gotta break up again. It's like, no, like just stay gone. Why you doing
Come
that?
on, you know why? Because they go out there, they want to leave what they have to look for something better, only to end up with something worse. And then it becomes a cycle and they keep going back and back and back again. It's like the clock that go, think about it. Even a clock is right 2 times a day. And they just keep going round and round.
Then you have to set boundaries. I think it would be that person has a lack of boundaries and say, okay, enough is enough. You done came back 10 times already and laugh whatever you looking for out there, you haven't found it. But guess what? Not here. This shop is closed. I feel like people have to set boundaries and not allow people access to you.
They ain't gonna do that. That person done lit their heart on fire. So ain't no way they gonna like not give deny that person access. They would have to do something real dirty, ground, grimy for that person to say, I'm cutting you off. I'm done. Other than that, they're gonna keep taking what's given.
Wow. Which brings me to the second point. Do people really change? If they come back and say, "Oh yeah, I've changed. Now I'm different now.
Mm. What's the old
I've learned
saying?
my
Action
lesson."
speaks louder than words. I could tell you that I changed, but I would definitely have to show you.
Are their actions lining up with their words? And then sometimes people will do it for a short period of time and you're like, oh yeah, oh, this is a totally different person. And what is that? Love bombing. They get you in, they will you in. And then next thing you know, you just like, this is the same relationship. Now, I would say if you're spinning the block, should you be picking up from where you left off? Or are we doing something different?
What they say, the circus don't change, only the clowns do.
I cannot. I feel like we should be doing something different. Right. Serena said intermittent relations. That's what it that's what it is. Like you're not gonna keep coming over here. No. And then if you allow it, if you set no boundaries, guess what's gonna happen? That's gonna happen. She said, yes, I'm a living testament. And
Okay,
it's
so
when you go through stuff and you try to tell other people, like, girl, don't do that. You already know what's gonna happen. And people, it's it's this girl on TikTok. She always having these conversations with God, right? And God is telling her what to do. She has her she's playing God and she's playing her angel. And then she'll tell God, be like, don't do that because this is gonna happen. And her answer to him is always, I'm gonna see for myself. And then she go out there and see for herself, and she come back and she's asking God for forgiveness. I'm sorry, I didn't listen. But every time she brings something to him, he be like, don't do that. Like he's not right for you. He's gonna break your heart. She like, what? He's so cute. And he's like, no. And she was like, I'm gonna see for myself. And then she go out there and see for herself. And she actually just got done writing a book with that title. I'm gonna see for myself because of the things that she been doing. I'm like, oh my goodness, hilarious. Sometimes people just want to see for themselves.
no, my daddy used to say a hard head makes a soft. Hmm.
I like this. Serena said people can change. Some just choose not to change.
Yeah,
And that's it.
been saying
That's it.
that.
Point blank. And I think Steve Harvey said people change. A man would change for the woman that they want. They'll make the change. If it's somebody that they want, they will make that change. Point
Yep.
point blank. It's a choice. You shouldn't have to twist no arm, put a gun up to somebody's head, threaten them, give them an ultimatum. No, no.
What you see is what you get.
She said yes. So do people really change? Um, I think when people spin the block, sometimes it has to do with they may not have changed, but it's like maybe they want to boost their ego. Let me just see if I can get this person back. Let me see, if they still have that the heart for me. And sometimes it's just the ego boost, and they get that ego boost, and then guess what? They out of there again. And you're left feeling like, wow, I just wasted my time. I should have stood on business instead of taking that person back.
Hmm. So
They're checking to see if you're still an option for them.
right, because they haven't found anything else better than you at this point, so they're kind of settling. Like, you know what? It wasn't so bad. Come on, let me jump back into this relationship with this person. We'll try it again. But the minute that something good come along, then problems starts to occur.
And I do believe people can grow and people can change, and mature. But I was reading a study and it says it's very rarely that people do change. And a lot of times it takes like something traumatic that happens, or like Serena said, like it's a choice for them to actually make that choice to change. But people go to their grave being the same.
Mhm. What is Rizzy's rule number two?
You need to
What
write a
is
book on
Rizzy's
these
rule number
rules.
two? I've
I
been
need you
saying
to
it for
write a book on
years.
these rules.
Women was no. Men get into relationships hoping that the woman
Mhm.
won't change. Women get in relationships thinking they can change the man. Number two.
Hey,
I
Lisa.
gave you 3. I gave you 2.
Hey, Lisa. I can't wait to hear number 1. Serena said true. Uh, if you tuning in, Lisa, I know you're gonna jump into this conversation. We're talking about spinning the block or stand on business. Should you go back to your ex? Your ex done hit you up on the phone and told you that they have changed, and now they want to be in a relationship. They want you back. They miss that old thing. They want it back. I want to play a I want to play a video really quick. One video talks about spinning the block, and the other one talks about standing on business.
Don't be scared to spin the block. Some people met you at a season in life where you weren't ready for them. Some people were not prepared and had enough experience in life to be ready for you. Now, I'm also making sure that you're aware of why it ended in the first place. Did it end because the volatility between you guys, it was too hot and heavy? Was that passion or was that disrespect? Were they a chronic cheater? Do you think that age changed that? Be sure to assess why things ended and don't think time just healed those wounds. Be sure that they put the work in to heal those wounds, but don't throw somebody away because you already been there. I want you to stay open to love, open to being in a relationship where love is reciprocated in a way you didn't even know possible. And so sometimes, gotta spin the block.
What do you think, Rizal?
Okay. I think I've hit on everything what she was saying, starting from the beginning. So I kind of, I somewhat, I agree with her. Especially that, depending on what season that you caught that person in. Like I said, there's always a reason, a season, or a lifetime. You have to take the time to find out which one it is and what category that person is going to fit into.
I think you have to have that proof. A lot of times you don't even give it a chance to even produce the proof or the fruit of a change. Like, because those old feelings start to come back up and you're like, oh, I remember how this person made me feel. And you don't even wait to see if this person even changed. Like, where's the evidence of the change?
Yeah, those things are past tense. They're memories. Those you will always never forget, and you'll hold them deep in your heart. They're like people who pass away. But at the same time, what is happening now? What is going on in the presence? Because this is where I'm living at. I'm not living back there anymore. We're not at that point back there anymore. That's backwards. In order for us to move forward, I need to see what's happening, what's going on now with this person.
Oh, wait. Lisa said, I have been there and done that. And God freed her. And she went back. And guess what? It was worse.
See? Didn't I tell you? That's like breaking out of jail and you want to go back and break back in.
Oh, my God. It was worse.
Yep.
I think sometimes, and do you have to be sure that the motive, when people come back into your life, that the motive is pure? Because especially if it ended on bad terms, some people may be just trying to get their lick back. They
Oh,
like,
no. If it ended on bad term, that's an automatic no from the beginning. No, why am I going back to the chaos, the argument, or whatever the case? That's an automatic no. Ain't no spinning the block. I'm going to a whole nother zip code or wherever. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to have blocks. Give me land.
Lisa said they can change, but it doesn't mean the change was for her. That's true. That is true. I totally
Lisa
agree.
could have been the person to help that person to get to the next level of their life for the next person.
Yes, that's true. Serena said that part right there. That is
Hmm.
true. Just doing the research for this show, a lot of people was like, don't spin the block. Like the majority of the people was saying no, don't do it because you're just going to end up with the same results. There are very few, they would say, exceptions to the rule that can spin the block and get a totally different result. So let's listen to the other video and see what she has to say.
When they spin the block, deny access. I repeat, when they spin the block, deny access. That old version of you, you're no longer her. You're no longer him. So when they come back and they're trying to talk to this new version, this healed version, this more evolved version, this more loving version of who you are now, you're going to deny access. You require new passwords because you are a new person with new values and new standards and new desires. We don't want that. Deny access when they spin the block, because they will. You know they will. They always come back. They always come back to the light. Come back to the light. Remember?
Wow. There you go. Deny access when they try to come back. And that's another thing that a lot of them kept saying, that they always come back. They always come back. The one guy was like, if I don't spin the block with you, that means I didn't like you from the beginning. Like, it was something about you that I just did not like at all. But he said he always spins the block because normally he still, have feelings for that person or like that person, but it had to be something about that person that he just totally didn't like, that he wouldn't spin the block. But so there you have it.
Mm-mm. I'm sorry. You only get one chance to give me a first impression, and if we dealt with it and I've been and seen exactly who you are, I am not spinning the block. You have to think about why you left the block in the first damn place. There's really no going back. For what? To get more headaches, to go through more drama? For what? It's not even good for your health. See, those are the unhealthy things. Why are you even considering it? I could see, okay, maybe this person, okay, perfect example. I had a young lady at one time that she told me she wasn't ready for anything. And that's cool. We remain friends. And this is what I mean, that everybody in your life is not meant for to be in a relationship with. Some people are just there to be friends and help you to your next level. And that's it. Or you're there to help them. And it's funny because now that we're friends, we are like kind of helping each other level up. I just helped her level get to where she is. She has a booming business now. She didn't have none of this. She was doing it, she was catering when I was there, but she didn't have all what she has now. Like, she's catering for the radio stations. We just did a big thing with Ricky Smiley the other day. Breakfast was Ricky. We catered that. So now doors is just opening up for her. So at one point, hey, who knows? I could have been a hindrance. It could have been me that could have been holding her back. I don't know. But for whatever reason, God chose this path for us to travel. And that's just how it was meant to be. Because it was meant for us to be together, we would be together. But
Wow.
we're not. But we are now helping each other. So that's fine in my book.
Well, Lisa said she was intentional about her healing and she refused to allow anyone to sabotage her growth or her peace. I don't blame you.
That's right,
I
Lisa.
do not blame
I
you.
can tell you one thing: being in these relationships and think about spending a lot, they make you think about everything that you don't want versus what you do want, and that's when you're going to start setting those boundaries, like the young lady said, to deny access. Nah, because I don't want that old thing no more. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to wake up wondering where he is or where she is. I don't want to do those things anymore. So you're going to begin to set boundaries with yourself about that person. So automatically that should just cancel things out with about thinking about spinning the block.
Wow.
No, spinning the block. No.
Serena said that's good. I think she was talking about when you said you and the girl was friends. Y'all became friends and y'all helping each other out. I think sometimes timing has a lot to do with it. Like, you may be together and the timing is not right. Maybe you got together at a young age and y'all both maybe wasn't mature at the time. Some years have passed. You had a chance to grow up and, come into yourself, and now you reconnect and it's like, oh, okay, I'm ready. We ready. And sometimes it works.
Rizzy rule number 7. The right person at the right place at the right time can change everything.
The right person at the wrong time can change everything. Yeah, they can. If you allow it, if you allow them to change everything. I think sometimes people are just desperate to have somebody. I mean, like
Mhm.
we see social media and how people portray that their lives are so happy, and even if this person, you may know that this person is not right for you, everything in your soul is telling you that this is not the person, or that you're not even ready for this person, and they're showing signs that they're not even ready for you or a relationship. And sometimes we still try to force that round peg into that square hole, and it it explodes. It doesn't work. So sometimes the timing is not right.
Yep. I do believe timing is definitely everything. Like the girl said, maybe it wasn't y'all, maybe it was like me and the young, maybe it just wasn't our time. I had uh, so I guess maybe since I was about 12 years old, there was, my brother, his cousin. I had been in love with her forever in my Cardi B voice, forever.
Mhm.
And we were just never able to get together because the timing was always off. It was always wrong. But yet and still, through it all, we stayed friends. I mean, she was friends with Tasha, my wife at the time, her kids, and my
Yeah. Oh, Rizal, I can't even hear you.
you can hear me.
No, I don't know what happened. You sound really, really low.
But through it all, we're still friends. Whatever God had planned for us, maybe she just wasn't the right person for me, and that's why he kept us apart. That's why the timing was never there, for that being that window had closed. We won't, we're just, hey, how you doing? How the family doing? How the kids doing? And I like that, to be able to just, call you up and say, hey, how's everything?
Yeah. They say sometimes second chances can be stronger than the first attempt. Look at Nelly and Ashanti. They're married now. They have a baby. Like they spent the block and it's working for them.
Oh, don't think she ain't getting headaches from him. Y'all seen the special or whatever the show that they had. Yeah. Again, like we said, it's working on TV and social media, but behind closed doors, I can guarantee it's a different story.
Well, we're not saying, I mean, in any relationship, it's not going to be perfect, right? But I think you have to decide if this person is the perfect person for you, right? And do they bring you that sort of peace that you need? The things that you decide that, oh, I can live without this because this person brings me XYZ. Like, I think you have to think about that. That what may probably make you upset about what Nelly is doing, Ashanti may be like, oh, that's cute, or oh, that don't bother me. I'm okay.
Hey, to each his own.
So do you feel like people are healed when they spin the block, or they spin in the block from a lonely place, from a desperate place?
The second part, I don't think they're truly healed because I think it's not even just, yeah, they're more lonely than healed. Yep.
Well, depends on the person, Wanda said. Being alone can
Yeah.
feel louder than your memory of the disrespect in the relationship. So they could have done all sorts of things to you, but you alone at home on Friday night when all of your friends and stuff are out. You get invited to a wedding and they like, oh, plus one. You don't have a plus one. You there by yourself watching everybody else. So some people just want to just say, oh, I have somebody, even if that person is not good for them.
And I think that's the other thing, the time too. Because if you and this person just disconnected, say 2 weeks ago, you're probably not healed just yet. You're probably not even over it yet. But then they call, hey, what you doing? Nothing. Now you're back. Now you're like, like you said, it's like you're probably just lonely because you're giving them, opening that crack of that door for them to come back in. So time may play, if it's somebody that's like you was dealing with, and then 15 years later, you're thinking about giving them a chance because, again, they're a different person. Times have changed now. They're doing X, Y, and Z. You may give some consideration about spinning the block 15 years later.
But what are some red signs that you should not ignore when it comes to spinning the block? We just talked about one of them. I'm gonna put it out there really quick, which is the consistent disrespect, right? I know for men, respect is like it's a big thing for you guys. If you feel disrespected, if a woman does not respect you, it's just like her saying she doesn't love you.
Yeah, disrespect. See, a man is judged by the woman that he has behind him. Men see it, women see it too. If you got a good woman that's behind you, she's going to push you to do better. And once you do better, you're going to know better. And she needs to know where her place is to have him keep doing those things for him. He's going to do much better when there's that you're giving him peace, that you're giving him consistency, that you're just giving him allowance to be who he needs to be.
Well, women are multipliers. So whatever you give us, we're gonna multiply it and make it better. So if I'm pouring into you those good things, then you're giving me what I need. I'm gonna take whatever that is, and we're gonna multiply it because that's just what we do.
Not all women. We got a lot of takers and no givers. I don't know about that one. I can't say that. That's a whole different type of woman.
True, true, true.
These women these days, what can you do? What can you do? They just want party, 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 and just have, think that they're supposed to be given whatever is coming to them for free, and they don't have to put no work in or nothing, or they think if they laying down with you, that's payment. Nah, nope, not these women these days.
So you saying they feel entitled, that entitlement for some reason?
Mm, Put you in a sticky situation.
I agree. Wanted to say you need to up the age that you date.
Look,
Women.
I ain't dating. This was me back in my younger day. I feel like Uncle Joe from Tyler Perry movie right now.
Oh. Okay, well, some people, if you the one of the red flags that you should not ignore is that you feel you have this anxiety instead of peace. Like there is nothing peaceful about this reunion.
Then you shouldn't be in it. And you should have never got yourself back into it because you already knew what it was when you left the first time.
And I agree with Lisa. The goal should be to uplift each other. It should be.
That is the goal. We're supposed to be teammates, not competitors with each other.
Right.
And that's where a lot of times where we go wrong.
What about those people? If this is a red flag, if they come back when you leveled up, as soon as you level up, here they come. So they can benefit off of you.
I mean, I don't really think you know the true intentions of a person when they come back. Because, like I said, 15 years later, you may not know what I'm doing in my life. And you just want to rekindle, and we sit, we talk, and the chemistry is still there. And, I may let you back in, you not know. So I don't know, just because I'm at a different space and I'm doing much better in my life, I would expect for you to expect me to do better in my life. And the same for you. I hope that you're doing very well in your life. Now, if we could make those two things mesh and come together, I think then we can both talk about, or we both can have a better life together.
That's true. So nothing has exactly changed other than the words that they're telling you. That's a red flag.
Yep, red flag.
It's a
I
red
agree.
flag. Look at patterns. Patterns don't change without you actually putting the work in. So ask questions about the work, like if they needed therapy, have you been to therapy? Are they being accountable for what happened before? Did they come back apologizing, being, apologetic about what happened? Did their behavior actually change, or are they just responding with the words? Because you can easily say, oh yeah, I've changed, but your behavior can demonstrate something totally different.
Hmm. That's true too. Have you seen relationship goals yet?
I did i did
Okay. Notice how he told, I forgot her character name in the movie, that he had changed. And, in fact, she didn't believe him until finally he kind of like had to prove it. But he did keep telling her that he changed. The thing is, like, are you going to believe this person, or are you going to wait it out to see for yourself? Because ain't no telling how long that could take.
That's true. I think you give them, you should know something. I mean, it doesn't take that long to observe a person to find out if they change. And I know people could put on a show, but they can't keep it up for a long period of time. Eventually, you'll be able to see, no, they haven't really changed. And that comes with the communication, with y'all communicating and talking to each other, spending time with each other, being present in each other's company. You'll be able to know if this person is just, oh, we falling back into the same old thing. So second chances require a whole new behavior, different patterns. You just got to pay attention.
And that puts you on high alert now. So it's like you can't be yourself because you looking for what's going to happen next.
Not in a negative way, but just being observant.
Hmm.
And I thought about this because one of the questions was, what if your daughter came to you or your son came to you about someone wanting to spin the block with them? What would you tell them if they asked you for advice? Would you tell them, yeah, go ahead and spin the block, or would you tell them to stand on business and be like, no, don't do it?
Hmm. I think actually, how did this person make you feel? That's what it really comes down to. Did they give you peace, or did they give you drama? How did they make you feel? Do you see a change in them? Do you think you can spin the block with them? And if you can answer them no, then don't do it. But if you can say yes, then go ahead, give it a shot. Like I said in the beginning, I give second chances. I just don't think everybody deserves one.
That's true. So as we wrap up the show, ask yourself some questions, or if you're thinking about spinning the block, like, what actually has changed, and is there proof of that change that you can actually see? And think about, are you moving from a place of clarity or emotions? Because if you're moving from emotions only, then you may make a mistake and say, oh yeah, I'm spinning the block. Or like the one lady said in the video, you may miss out on, spinning the block with somebody who has changed, and it could be a good thing. So think about, does this person align with where I am right now and who and what I'm becoming? So those are some things to maybe ask yourself or to think about.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
sometimes growth means that, sometimes when you grow, it means that you can't go back, because you're not even that same person anymore. Your taste has changed. That person does not even fit or mesh into your world. And it's not a bad thing, but sometimes, you know, people outgrow the person or the situation. And it's not even the taste that you would have had at 20. Now I'm 50. I don't have the same taste.
Because you have experienced a lot more now. So you've been out there a whole lot. So your thinking and what you've seen, you got experience under your belt. You want much more different than where you were 20 years ago or whatever the case. Okay.
I will say really quickly, again, we're wrapping up the show. We did a poll online asking individuals to comment if they will spin the block or if they will stand on business. And I think 10 people said their answer was, one of the choices was, when I'm done, I'm done. 10 people said that. And then one person said they went back and they later regretted it. And then some people were saying that they never go back. So I think the consensus was, nope, when I'm done, I'm done. All right, Rizal. What are some words of wisdom about, should you spin the block or should you stand on business?
I think we kind of said it with that last statement, and I'm gonna say my last words of wisdom. Always remember, a leopard never changes its spots.
Mm. Wow. That's true. Lisa said I would tell them to, she would tell her child to weigh the pros and the cons before they make a decision, because ultimately you're going to be the one that have to deal with this person and not me. So you know exactly what happened in that relationship. So I would not want that weight on me to make that decision for you. But I would just give you some wisdom, some words of wisdom from my experience. So yeah, weigh the pros and cons. All right. And Rizal said, a leopard never changes its stripes. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining Warriors Talk. We're moving away from awareness, even in relationships, because your love should not cost you your peace, right? And just remember that access to the healed version of you is a privilege and not a right. So we'll see you next Monday right here on Intellectual Radio. As always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell. Co-hosting with me today is Rizal Gilmore, aka The Biz. Warriors Talk is changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number 1, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on IntellectualRadio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.